Hey everybody! Jason Bermas here for another live and exclusive Rockfin Spectacular. I want to thank all of you guys out there that are joining me live free on a platform that encourages free speech and doesn't try to quell it, doesn't try to combat it. And that seems to be the theme of big tech. Let's pick a narrative, no matter how false, and then we'll say it's true. And then anybody who says it's not true will be demonized, okay? They will have their accounts suspended, and if that doesn't work, they'll just be deplatformed. Now, I know a lot of you guys saw my video on Mike Pompeo last night saying how there would be a second smooth transition into a second Trump administration, all right? Now, one of the highlights in that video for me was the fact that the mainstream media was now calling out Project Veritas and the supposed postal worker who had blown the whistle on backdating ballots. Now, I had pointed out that Project Veritas has not had to retract anything ever. And in fact, there are a lot of retractions out there involving mainstream reporting on Veritas. Okay, that doesn't mean James O'Keefe is perfect. That doesn't mean everybody he's hired is perfect, etc. It doesn't mean he's the arbiter of truth. However, it was being reported far and wide, that what? This guy had retracted his statement, that he had went and given his deposition, his testimony to the correct officials, and mainstream media couldn't run with it quick enough. So at the end of the video yesterday, because we were talking about developments on possible voter fraud and what was being reported in the media, I said, you know what? The mainstream media is saying that this guy already recanted. And I discussed the fact that, there's a possibility that this was one of those Dan Rather type operations where somebody comes forward, says something, or presents evidence that's ultimately false, to be the turd in the punch bowl and spoil any other evidence that may be valid, so people can then point to this and say, no, it's fake. Remember, they did that with the Hunter Biden laptop story on really the eve of the election, a couple days before the election, when it was apparent that the laptop was real. They were reporting a second laptop. The photographs of Hunter were out there, the text messages between his father, the obvious evidence that he and his father discussed the inappropriate relationship that he was having with Joe Biden's 14-year-old granddaughter. You know, the picture of Hunter with his wang dangle hanging out with that 14-year-old girl behind him in a bed. Remember that? See, the media didn't want to talk about that. Instead, they just said it was fake news, and they went to some obscure report that nobody reported on whatsoever and said, this is the origin of all this fake news. Okay, but they took it a new step further with this postal worker. Okay, not only were they putting out stories that this postal worker recanted, but after the fact, the postal worker actually did a video, put his face and name out there, and said he never recanted. Yet, and I'm going to show you this, when I post the video of somebody saying, I didn't recant on these mainstream, holding the mainstream newspaper, telling them they're full of crap, okay, that gets fact-checked immediately. What? Huh? How are you going to fact-check a person saying someone else just because they're a mainstream media source and they're authoritative, that he can't say they're lying about him? How does that make sense? Now we're not even talking about quote-unquote election fraud. It's, is this guy a liar or is he not? Now you'd think that that would be enough, right? That would be enough for them to try to demonize this guy. It's not. It's not. You know, the guy's already been suspended apparently, and he put up a GoFundMe. There was like $130,000 in it. What do you think GoFundMe did? He won't see a penny of it. They just cancel you. That's scary. And I know I use GoFundMe. And quite frankly, without the GoFundMe, Obviously, I would have to find a different platform. But without it, I couldn't do this. There's just zero chance I could do this. I have a family. Like this guy has a family. Now, let's take it another step further. Right now, still, and we're going to show you this, on the side of the information bar on Twitter, this is how you know, okay, that all this is coordinated. They have a headline on the side that says that the postal worker recanted. Who's holding these people accountable? It was like that when I went to bed last night. Who's holding these people? Nobody. They're not accountable. Twitter right now as a platform should be sued for promoting that. They should not be protected. They are not the arbiters of truth. They are the arbiters of mainstream authoritarian disinformation. And it is criminal. And I am sick of it. I am sick of it. Now, on top of that story, we're going to talk about Andrew Capo Cuomo being a tough guy. He's tough. He's a tough 62-year-old man. Ooh, he's tough. Going on Howard Stern, somebody who used to really be somebody that I looked up to, not because I wanted to be in talk radio, but because, he was a big part of my life as a teenager, really, from being on the radio to having the E! Show to being some of the first books I read, okay, Howard Stern's Private Parts and Miss America. I used to love Howard, and now he has just become such an establishment shill that I can't even watch him. I can't watch. I get sick to my stomach every time I listen all of a sudden. I used to have Howard TV. Okay, after the E! Show, he actually, back in the day when, the internet wasn't as big, you would have Howard Stern on demand. And that was a big thing for Howard Stern fans. And I used to love that stuff. In fact, to this day, I would say Howard Stern is responsible for some of the most entertaining and hilarious moments in the past 30 years. 100%. But now he just gives a platform to the capo, to Mr. Cuomo, to say absurd and ridiculous things. And, all I can remember and compare that to is that Stern used to really rag on Don Imus. And in that era, when Don Imus was actually on television, too, his radio show got picked up by MSNBC, all that stuff, Don Imus was unlistenable to me. Unlistenable. Okay, and it was low-hanging fruit almost for Stern. Now Stern has literally become Imus. Like literally become the ghost of Don Imus. There's not much different except for at the end, Don Imus, went way right compared to, his rocker days, and Trump just went full board lefty. All right. Before we get there, I do want to remind everybody we are fully demonetized here. The GoFundMe is how we do it, $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Big donors. Thank you so much for heeding the call and keeping this program afloat. If you're watching this live, you are part of the Rockfin group that knows that I may not be on YouTube forever, and that this is where you will be able to find me. Yesterday's program still free up there. We'll be changing that. Again, we're live and free for all people that sign up, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. And then sometimes I take some of these clips and I put them up to YouTube. Yesterday is a full exclusive, okay? So if you haven't seen yesterday's yet, and you don't get the chance to, it goes premium later today, and you'd have to have a premium subscription. But this program will remain free. By the way, none of yesterday's program, which was kind of a throwback love letter to InfoWars and Alex Jones with some exclusive behind-the-scenes footage of over a decade ago, I'd suggest you go check it out. I think I do good work, and I think that this platform is, one, worth investing in because it actually has a valid business plan that's not based in imagination land. And, of course, folks, remember to check out the documentary films after the broadcast, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, if you want to learn about 9/11, which is so important, so important, so important. Really leaves you with a base of information as to how corrupt and terrible, criminal the mainstream media is. The predator class is. The Muppets in politics are. So you can check that out and then move on to Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and shade the motion picture, I guarantee that if you've never seen those films, they will help change your worldview. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's do it big. Let's do it live. Trump calls USPS whistleblower a brave patriot after the mailman said he had not recanted Pennsylvania. See, they changed this. Last night, the headline was that he was. Okay, this is the same exact article. So at least, at least they're changing it on the Daily Mail. Good for you, Daily Mail. Good for you. People wonder why I go to the Daily Mail. Number one, it's a great aggregate, as much of a tabloid-type publication as it is, as great pictures, video. But hey, they did what others have not. They recanted their bullshit story. And here he is, Richard Hopkins. We're going to play the video. I did not recant. But apparently, he now has audio of the FBI trying to scare and coerce him. See, everybody thinks that the FBI is so great. Christopher Wray is so great. James Comey is so great. Andrew McCabe is so great. I got news for you. They're the goddamn cleanup crew. They're not your friend. They're there to cover shit up when it gets too high level. They're there to protect narratives and demonize innocent people like this guy. All right? You got it? You get it? Good. Good. And again, James O'Keefe ain't my best buddy, but he's right. He's saying you need to retract that we paid $130,000 to allege voter fraud. See, the bullshit narratives these bastards keep putting out make me sick. He is a veteran with a family. He was suspended by USPS for daring to tell the truth. You know that's the thing. People wonder why more people don't put their necks out. You got people like Jake Tapper tweeting out that you better watch what you say online for future employers. How's that going to reflect on you? Yo, fuck you, Jake Tapper. How about that? Fuck you. You want to talk about the fact that employers go on people's social media pages to see if they're binge drinking or they're partying, all that stuff. Look, we've been discussing that forever. Be careful what you put out as your public persona if you're concerned about those issues of employment, etc. But don't tell me that I'm going to be looked at because of the way I voted or the political candidate I supported or the news stories I shared, or the content I created, Jake motherfucking Tapper. Put me in a room with these guys and a camera. I don't even need a mic. Just get the camera on me. Okay? I will eat them alive every time. Every time. And it's sad. So, I want to know why we can't just sue Twitter. Again, how is it that these people are protected? If you look behind my head here, okay, I'm going to get myself out. Let's just read it. It's still right there. This is right now. Pennsylvania postal worker recants allegations. Did it just go off? Oh, no, it went to the top. Sorry. Of ballot tampering, Washington Post, Washington Examiner, and New York Times report. Okay? Notice they put the three things under there as if they're the arbiters of truth. They're the ones that get to decide what's real and what's not. Doesn't matter that this thing now has been up over 12 hours, okay? And this guy recanted well over 12 hours ago. I want to show everybody this. So last night, I'm not big on memes. By the way, I don't consider this a meme. I looked up a GIF. I know it's pronounced GIF, whatever. And I had seen after my broadcast that, and we're going to go to it, that this gentleman did not recant, Richard Hopkins. And they put a video out on it. So I thought to myself, you know what, Jason? It's heating up. And boom, shakalaka. A little bit of NBA Jam. Side note, guys. Back in the day, I was such a NBA Jam freak that I would take my $1.25. It would be $1.25 for lunch in the day. And if anybody knows anything about NBA Jam, how it worked is you would pay 50 cents for the first quarter, and then a quarter each additional quarter. 4 quarters cost you $1.25 if you didn't go into overtime. So I'd get up early. I'd walk to school. On the way to school, there was this little baseball card shop that had one video game machine in it, happened to be NBA Jam, and I'd go and I'd just spend my lunch money over on some NBA Jam and hope that I didn't go into OT. And back in the day on those arcade machines, you could put your name in and your rankings and the whole thing. Yabba dabba doo. So as you can see, within literally seconds, this claim about election fraud is disputed. First of all, that video does not talk about election fraud. It simply is that guy, okay, talking about how he never recanted. And we're going to find out tomorrow what he's got down there. Huh. How about that? Yet somehow they're saying it's false, it's fraud. There is no claim about election fraud in that video. There is none. There is none. There is none. We're going to play it. Other than the fact the guy says he didn't recant. And you put that up there. Moments after posting a video of a postal whistleblower claiming that he had not recanted his initial statements regarding fraud, despite mainstream media reporting it as such, has already been fact-checked. So Big Tech has declared him a liar with zero evidence. I hope he takes these mother to the wood chipper. All right, and now we're going to play what they don't want you to see. And remember, Trump put this out there too. 373,000 views. Look, again, this claim about election fraud is disputed. No, you're calling this guy a total liar, and you're presenting evidence on the side that's complete bullshit. And it's already been debunked, and it's over my head right now. Literally, look at it. Look at how Orwellian this is. Why do you think I said hashtag Orwell Pride? Pennsylvania USPS whistleblower Richard Hopkins. I did not recant. It's the guy. And then right over my head, right next to him, he's recanted.
My name is Richard Hopkins. I am the postal employee who came out and whistle blew on the Erie, PA Postal Service, postal office. I am right at this very moment looking at an article written by Washington Post. It says that I fabricated the allegations of ballot tampering. I'm here to say that I did not recant my statements. That did not happen. That is not what happened. And you will find out tomorrow. And I would like that the Washington Post recant their wonderful little article that they decided to throw.
Now you watch that, okay? Where in there does he make a claim about election fraud other than he is the whistleblower? That he's made claims about that. Where is it? There is no claim about election fraud. There's nothing to dispute other than you guys are fucking liars. And you make me fucking sick. And you should go to prison. You shouldn't just pay out money to this guy. You should be in jail, Jack Dorsey. In prison. That's where you belong. You don't belong at the head of some tech company where you get to stroke your trendy asinine beard on a Zoom call while minions of the predator class who happen to have government positions kiss your fucking ass. No. I say no.